no, I already told him. Okay. Hi, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you for coming to the Trash and Recycling Informational Session. My name is Erica DiDonato. I work for the town of the Department of Public Works. And I'm here with Caitlin Smith and Tyler Finnegan from Republic Services, our hauler, and Rob Dever, who's the Operations Director of the Department of Public Works. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the changes with the new carts, the new collection program. We're going to be talking about recycling efforts with Republic Services. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Caitlin to talk a little bit about Republic and recycling.
Thank you. So again, my name is Caitlin. I am with Republic Services, the new trash and recycling hauler, I should say, that took over about a year ago. And I'm going to go through a quick brief on where the trash and recycling is going and what we are doing with it. So most people actually put their stuff in the bins and they have no idea where it goes after that. So this is a little in-depth one. So trash is usually taken to a transfer station where it is brought to a waste-to-energy facility. They will burn that trash and create energy out of it, or it will go to a landfill. So we either bury it where it gets mummified, or we burn it for new energy. Recycling is a whole new gambit of things, and we can talk about that. Recycling usually goes to a materials recovery facility, or we call that a MRF. When Republic Services acquired JRM, they also acquired Greenworks, which is the recycling facility on Route 1. We do have a sign-up sheet, so if anybody would like to take a tour of that, we are going to be providing a couple of dates that everybody can come and see it for themselves. I know that NPR did a nice statement saying that no recycling is being actually recycled, and that's not the case. So about 85% of the recycling that you put into your recycling bin is being recycled, especially at Greenworks. So Greenworks, before Republic Services took over, we had about a 30% contamination rate, so it was about 70%. We have now dropped that down to about 15%. So we've been able to really put out the education, make the awareness to all of our customers, residential and commercial alike, to be able to get that recycling and capture the best quality recycling that we can. And that's why we're here, we're working on it. You can go to the next one, sorry. So where it all starts. When we take your recycling from the curb, it gets dumped onto the tipping floor. And this is the first chance that we get to be able to look at that recycling and see whether or not it's clean recycling, if it's contaminated. We've had a truck that dumped out the recycling and fish heads started rolling out. That entire load became trash, and we had to go and kind of dig through that to figure out who left said fish head and do that education as to why and why it doesn't belong there. It ended up becoming a miscommunication. It was a language barrier, and they were thinking composting. So composting was recycling, and that's where they thought it all went together. So these little things and these little changes are definitely something, and this floor is, again, that one chance that we can kind of connect as to who may have done that, and where we can actually put our expertise and kind of fine-tune that education. Once all the material goes up the conveyor belt, it goes along through quality control. So we have a bunch of employees that go along that, and they're going to take anything out that is going to break our machine or stop our machine. Can anybody throw out an idea as to what would break or stop our machine that we don't want? The plastic bags, that's number one, yes. So do you mind hitting the next one, Erica? So we call those tanglers. When that happens and we get too many of them, we have to have a gentleman climb in with box cutters and has to cut out every single piece of material that has now been wrapped up in these rollers. All of the material go through two different types of sets of these rollers right here. They're called star screens, and we'll be able to see a picture of that when I explain next. But we have a gentleman that will go in 3 times a day, scheduled to cut out all of that material. Throughout the day, there will be times where all of a sudden you hear the alarms go, the entire machine shuts down because it's been jammed, and that was not on a scheduled day. So that definitely stops production, and this is one of the things that we like to say: no Christmas lights, no plastic bags, please. You have a quick question?
Aren't those, when they shred them, aren't those carbide teeth in those shredders that would normally cut through almost anything?
So the things that are on the rollers, they're actually dulled spikes, basically. So those actually fluff up the material. So that doesn't actually shred anything. This, the process that it's going to go through, all that material is going to go across those. And actually, Erica, if you can press the next one, please. So the first thing that's going to be taken out is your cardboard. So in this big machine right here, all of the material is going through that screen. The cardboard is being fluffed up, and all of the other material is falling through the different rollers. So as all the other material is being falling through, the cardboard gets fluffed up to the very end and goes through another visual quality control process. So it's going to go onto a conveyor belt where there's going to be about 4 to 6 other people making sure that all of that would be cardboard that was kicked up. Because again, it's being fluffed up, so there's going to be a little bit of jumpers that go along with it. Do you mind hitting the next one, please? In the same process, same time frame, when all of the other material is falling through, we have all of the glass and the fine that falls to the very, very bottom. And it's going to go through, I call it the shaker. The guy right here, he shakes like this, and all of the little pieces are going to go through those grids. Those grids are about 2 by 2 inches. So we always say, if you have something that's smaller than about the size of a credit card, just throw it in the trash. It's not going to be captured properly. This is actually going to go all with your glass. So when you put your glass into your container, we take it into the truck. We use the really big blade to smush that truck to mix all that, to push all of the material together to have some more room. It's going to break all of that glass into those little fine pieces. The glass then goes through an auger, which is basically a big rotating, looks like an upside down drill. And all of the glass is heavy, so it's going to stay on that drill up to the very tippy top where it falls into a container to be kind of roughed and tough cleaned. It's almost like a tumbler. The rest of the material, the paper, all of your tags from your clothes, that's going to flutter down, and it's going to actually go into a trash pile. It's too mixed. Any of the bottle tops that you don't put on your bottle, we always ask you to squeeze your bottle a little bit and put the top back on. It gives it a fighting chance to stay together. If that bottle top does make its way off, it is going to go into that fines material. It's going to be trash. So again, anything bigger than a credit card, it will be captured.
For example, with a yogurt container?
Perfect.
Too small?
Nope, yogurt container is bigger. It's a 3D container, so that's perfectly fine. Do you mind going 2 forward? Thank you. The next one is actually the paper sorter. So just like the cardboard sorter, this is the paper sorter. It is very, very clean. That is a picture of the machine when nothing has actually touched it. This was before the grand opening. I was able to capture one picture, and that is the cleanest picture you will ever see again. So all of that material is going to go through that screen, and surprising to say, that also gets taken care of, gets wrapped up and gets stopped with all of those plastic bags. So that's another one that has to be taken out. So even going through the quality control with the 6 people in front, the cardboard sorter, then going through another 4 to 6 people, going through that machine, it is still getting tanglers. So all the paper then gets taken out. You mind going to the next one? Thank you. And then the rest of the material is your plastics and your metals. So all of that is going to go over to your orange boxes. Do you mind clicking 1? So those 2 orange boxes are the T-Tech boxes. It's a laser optic, it's an optic eye, and it's a laser that goes across the conveyor belt, and it reads all of the material that is going through. So at this point, it's just your plastics and your metals that are going through. And it's going to talk to the green box that's right next to it, and it's going to say there's a water bottle right here. So it's looking for all of your PET, so all of your water bottles, soda bottles, and it's going to then talk to the green box next to it and say there's a water bottle right here on the conveyor belt, and it actually uses a puff of air, and it will puff that water bottle onto another conveyor belt, where there's usually a gentleman standing here, but there's usually another gentleman standing up on that other yellow platform. And they will separate out any paper that jumps along with it, because again, it's done by air. Any of that light plastic material that has not gotten caught up in the tanglers, it's going to take out anything that they can to make that material before it falls into the storage unit as clean as possible. The second orange boxes that Erica had pointed out takes care of all of your HDPE. That's all of your Tide bottles, the laundry detergent, your milk gallons, the water gallons. And just as perspective, This is all a commodity. Everything that we do and we take, we are selling. So things go up and down in the fluctuation. Currently, right now, clear HDPE, your gallon water jugs, it's more valuable than steel at the moment. And that's obviously going to change, but I think it's a pretty cool tidbit because the gentleman that's actually standing right there, all of the HDPE is coming down that line. He is taking any of the clear ones that he sees and he's tossing it into this bin right here. These are all of our storage bins. So essentially when that second bin gets full, it has been hand sorted by the team that stands in that one pile. And that just boggles my mind when you see how little he is versus how big that container is. The rest of the material is going to go through. So at this point, it should just be the metals. On a utopian world, that's all that's going to be there. And it's going to go underneath, what is it called? That's a magnet right there, where that arrow is. So this magnet rotates above the conveyor belt, and it will suck up any of the any of the steel cans, so your soup cans and things like that are magnetic. And it's going to dump it into the bin right next to it, right in front, where you can kind of see it overflowing right now. The rest of the material is going to go through what's called an eddy current. So it's inside of a dome that creates copper wires that spins to be able to repel all of the aluminum cans and things like that. So we are able to capture those as well. I did mention just 2 plastics. The rest of the plastics that we collect are going to be hands taken out as well. So there's going to be somebody standing along this last conveyor belt over here, and any of the plastics that we need to hand sort out or take out, they will be hand doing it. Just so once sorted, like I said, those storage bins are really, really large, and they basically have garage doors at the end of them, and they will open up the garage door, it will fall to the ground, it's onto a conveyor belt, not necessarily the ground, and that conveyor belt will then bring it to a baler where it compacts it into a bale. Each bale is about 2,000 pounds. It's usually roughly 1 ton, depending on the material, there's give or take. And it's ready to be taken to its next destination. So what are we doing to help? In the 90s, they had started the bans on trash. So they said, you can't put this in the trash. You have to find somewhere else to put it. These are things that we do every day. Your bottles and your cans, air conditioners, refrigerators, dehumidifiers. You know that they don't go into the trash naturally. In 2014, they took it one step further and they said, there's a lot of food waste going in there. We're going to talk to any customer, so any commercial business that produces more than 1 ton of organic waste, can't put it into the trash. Don't care what you do with it, but you can't put it into the trash. And that's where composting came from. Then in 2022, so in November, they upped the ante again, and we now have a ban on mattresses, textiles, which is all of your clothing, and they took it one step further with the organics ban, and they said if you make 1/2 ton of organic material, you need to find somewhere else to put it. So with these, they're starting to slowly force people to kind of find something else to do, with those materials. Clothing is a big one that you can reuse, and some people will see, oh, there's a stain on it, I can't donate this. You can. If it's stained, ripped, has a button missing, as long as it is not sopping wet and moldy, you can recycle that. You can donate it. They will take it and either resell it to either third world countries, or they will repurpose it to be able to donate. If they cannot do that, they will rip them up into pieces and they will donate them to car dealerships as rags, or they'll use them for stuffing for cars. So there's different ways that they can then downcycle all of that material that they won't be able to actually reuse.
So when you say donate, you're speaking these in the things you see outside?
Yes. At a lot of the schools and things like that. There are a few local ones that when you bring them to, a lot of them are at the schools. I don't know if Danvers has any local places, but we can touch base on that. But they do have ones that will actually donate money back to the school. So depending on how much textiles they are able to get, the weight of that, they will donate a percentage of that money back to the school. So there are different programs that are available for that.
Would that be like Planet Aid?
Correct. Yes, exactly. So Massachusetts in 2018, when China sword hit, and China said we're not taking anybody's recycling, Massachusetts said we have to do something with that. So they got together with all of the MRFs across the board and said, what will you accept? What material can you take that you can guarantee can be reused, that we can bring to another manufacturer or processor, and we can reuse that? And they came up with this. So Recycle Smart helped put up this together, and this, I actually have a flyer, so if anybody would like to take one on their way out, this website is fantastic. Massachusetts came together, again, like I said, with all of the different cities. So across the board, if you have a nephew or an uncle or anything across the state and they start arguing with you about pizza boxes, you can show them this and say, yes, they're recyclable now, because it's across the board, as long as you're not in Springfield. That's the only one they beat to their own drum. So, but recyclesmartma.org actually has a place where it's called a recyclopedia. So it is right when you go onto this website, it's right there in front of you. And it says, can I recycle? Or can I recycle this? I think it is. You can type in whatever item suits your fancy, and it will tell you whether you should recycle it, donate it, or trash it. If you have to donate it, or if you can donate it, sometimes there's little options as to where to donate it, or where to recycle it. But if you don't see your suggestion, your option, whatever, you can suggest it. There is actually a woman who reads every suggestion that comes in, and she will add it to the website. So go back in a couple of weeks, and your item will probably be there with the directions as to what to do with it. Do we want to try playing it?
Yeah, I think it will play.
All right. So this is what Republic is doing with the plastics. We are guaranteeing that all of the plastics that we take, eventually we are going to be able to basically break down and give to manufacturers and processors to create another bottle. So it's going to go full cycle. So there's just a little video.
Plastic is everywhere. It's in almost every product you buy, but it doesn't always get recycled. In fact, only 30% of single-use plastic bottles and jugs are recycled, and plastic pollution throughout the environment continues to grow. Even when plastic packaging is put in the recycling bin, it's often downcycled into a product like carpet, or construction pipe, or park benches. At the same time, the demand for recycled plastic is growing. Brands are making pledges to use more recycled content in their packaging, and some states are beginning to require it. How can we support our customers' increasing demand for recycled plastic and help ensure that a plastic water bottle gets recycled into another plastic water bottle? The answer requires an investment in innovation and infrastructure to build a truly circular economy for plastics, the kind of investment we're making at Republic Services. Announcing the new Republic Services Polymer Center. For the first time ever, a single, safe, reliable company will manage the entire plastics recycling process, from post-consumer curbside to production-grade material. Here's how the new Polymer Center will close the loop in the circular economy to meet the rising demand for higher quality and food-grade recycled plastic in the marketplace. Consumer recycling is picked up by Republic Services and delivered to a regional recycling facility, where it is sorted by material into bales. Traditionally, many of those plastics have been downcycled. Now, those plastics will be delivered to a centralized polymer center. Our new facility will shred and wash the plastic, or sort it by color, ensuring maximum reuse and enabling greater circularity. The Polymer Center will produce more than 100 million pounds per year of recovered resin products. That's 100 million pounds of plastic back into the circular economy. Our first Polymer Center will open in Las Vegas in 2023 and serve communities throughout the West, with plans for a nationwide network to follow. As a leader in the environmental services industry and one of the nation's largest recyclers, Republic Services is uniquely positioned to support the circular economy through innovation and investment. The Polymer Center offers an innovative solution for plastic circularity from curb to product. It's just the latest example of Republic Services putting sustainability in action.
So Republic Services has the goal of building 4 of these across the U.S. The second one is going to be on the East Coast, so fingers crossed soon enough. It will be, I think their goal is 2025, but I could be wrong. So that's one of the things that Republic Services is doing. And one of the things that we can do as a community member is closing this loop. So we say closing the loop, and that's buying things that are made out of recycled products, creating that need for the recycled material. If we don't buy things that are made out of recycled products, there's no need to make it, which means that the manufacturers have no reason to do it. So again, let me see. I just missed what I was going to say. So by closing that loop and by actually looking into taking that one extra step of, was this made out of recycled product? Is this a company that does, support sustainability? We're able to kind of further that along and keep it going. Different products like Coca-Cola and Nestle, they have done, it's called a minimum content commitment, which that's what Republic was talking about in the video. They are guaranteeing that they will use a certain amount, a minimum amount of recycled products to make their own product. Like I said, Coca-Cola has committed to 50% to be able to use that. Problem is, we can't give them that 50% because we don't actually recycle enough of it. And so this is where the big education comes to try to reduce the amount that you're using, but also recycle the amount that you are using. We're going to switch gears. I'm going to actually send it over to Tyler, and we're going to do some trash talk. There's a lot of new changes coming, and I know that's probably why everybody was here, but thank you so much for listening to me talk about everything else.
I just have a question about the recycling before we switch over
Yep,
to the
yeah.
trash.
There'll be questions at the end, too.
I know we're switching, well, I can wait until the end then, but it's about the frequency of the recycling.
It's going to be every other week, I believe. So.
Right, so my question is, I have a single family with an in-law suite. We put out almost that much recycling every week right now.
That's amazing.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we will touch because there's more. There's
That's my biggest concern. is
That's a
like,
good thing. We like more
we have
recycling.
Too much recycling.
That's a good thing. That's never too much.
Well, that's good. Well, that's good. So that's
If
where
we
I'll
take
jump
too
in.
much recycling.
Yeah. And so, that's what we want to encourage with, the larger bin with the recycling and with the, with the blue bin for trash. So I'm Tyler Finnegan.
How big is that bin though,
Which one?
for the recycle?
The 95 gallon and 65 gallon.
Because I do a 55 gallon every week.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like her. I have a single family with an in-law.
90 gallons
Okay.
of trash.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that. We'll talk about that. So obviously there's big changes coming. We're doing things a little differently now in Danvers. And the reason that we partnered with Danvers and they partnered with us to make the switch over to automated trash trucks and carts is it's basically what's going on in the future now. We found as a trash hauling company, the days of the guys sitting on the back of the truck hanging on there, a driver in the front and a guy in the back are kind of going by the wayside. As much as we want to, people to be out there, it's not a desirable job anymore. So the future is automation now. And what automation does for the trucks or for the drivers is it makes them stay in the cab. It's much safer for them to be in the cab the entire time and use the mechanical arm to pick up the trash. So what we're really moving forward and we're rolling out now is automated only for our communities that we service. We want to keep our drivers safe. We want them to go home at night. Most of the incidents that happen in our industry are from guys in the back of the truck. We use the example that if you see a police car coming, you move over on the side of the road. But if you have a trash truck that's blocking the road, you just drive around it and don't think twice. But that's how accidents happen. By keeping our driver in the truck at all times, he's going to be safe. He's going to be able to pick up the trash, pick up the recycling on a daily basis, and go home to his family at night. So the changes that we talked about here, the city of Danvers picked up these, the carts for their residents here, and they have been, there obviously is a learning curve that's going to go along with this, and that's kind of why we're here doing these education pieces. But we encourage you to come out here, try them out, pick them up. They look intimidating, but they're not. They're easy to move, and what we say, they're very safe. Obviously, less injuries for the drivers. We think with the carts that the city's chosen, it's going to promote more recycling throughout the community. It's going to be cleaner. You're not going to have the trash and recycling, flying all over the area on a windy day. The lids will be, closed, animal proof, all that too. So It's the most efficient means of collection as well too. So we can finish your route, without carrying stuff over for the next day because of a breakdown, or someone got hurt, or something happened. So the equipment that we're putting out there, and we're getting new trucks now for the city of Danvers. You'll see trucks that look like this. They're an automated side load truck. They consist of 3 main components. There's a truck chassis, which is the cab and the frame, the compacting body where all the material goes in, as Caitlin mentioned, and then the automated arm. So once the arm picks up these bins here, it dumps in, it compacts the recycling and trash into the body of the truck, and then moves on to the next person. So, I think the average time that it takes them to pick up the truck is, or pick up the can is less than 10 seconds. So you'll see them come in, pick it up, and put it right back down to where it is.
So don't throw them in the bin instead of having the break.
They're not going to fall in the bin. So the great things about these is that if you see right here, so the arm, how it works, it picks up on the side there. There's this bar right here, and that's what holds onto it when it flips over on the other side. So you'll see that, it grabs onto it and moves. Now, the sizes, they work out well because anything smaller on these, they tend to fall in the truck a lot. So this is why we like to use these sizes particularly. So we move forward. So the carts, we said, the lids fit tightly. There's going to be a rollout. Keeps out animals in the garbage in, which is great. Windy days, and we said no plastic bags anymore in the recycling. So when you put your recycling in here, it's going to be all loose stuff. And when the lid closes, it's not going to be flying all over the place. They're easy to clean. If they ever get dirty, just spray them down with a hose, a little soap and water, clean them right out. As big as they look, they're very easy to handle. My 8-year-old son helps me take out the trash on our trash day, so he thinks it's fun, so we do it together. And then again, they shouldn't tip over or blow over when it's empty or full. So, you have a question?
Quick question, yeah. So the color designates the trash as the blue?
We're jumping in. Yeah. So yeah, and then they'll all be labeled, so you'll know which one is which, and that's going to know the driver as well too. So, so here they go. Yeah. So they have opposite here, right? So the trash carts are 65-gallon green, and the recycling carts are 95-gallon blue. So.
I was asking because now that's the way it is in Danvers now.
Yeah.
It was recyclable. Kept saying recyclable.
was unable to,
No, it's
give
really
the
good.
right.
They no. I think they sent the wrong ones, but
No,
yeah,
it's nowhere.
yeah.
That's all I just wondered.
But no, it'll be the colors you have now. So yeah, so it's good. So with placement of these things, and I know Danvers is a tight community, and there's cars parked on the street, but we ask that the cars should be out by 7 a.m. We're not going to start servicing until after 7 a.m. 1 feet from the curb, or even on the curb if it's too tight, you can have it there. But 3 feet from other objects, and again, you don't have to take a tape measure out and looking at it. Just make sure that the arm can get in there and pick it up, and you guys will find your sweet spot, I'm sure, at your house wherever it is. Make sure it's not leaning against anything as well, because when the if it's going to lean against someone, the driver's not going to pick it up, because that's going to lead to damage. That's going to lead to something that we don't want. And then when you put it out, make sure the arrows are facing out. So you'll roll it out from your house like that, put it right on the curb, and then driver picks it up and puts it right back down, and then roll it right back. So the arrow's facing out, the can facing out that way. And then when there's snow, that's always an issue. We will, obviously we work with the town to make sure if there is a snow day, we will let the town know and we'll say, hey, we're not coming out. But when we do come back out and we want to make sure that we have a clearing that our driver can get in there. So no putting it on the snowbank, and make sure it's kind of cleared out before we pick it up. So another cool thing that is available now, we do have a Republic Services app for anyone technologically advanced. You can download this. You can report missed pickups. So if you do have, if you think that you guys are missed on a particular day, you can report that. That goes right to our dispatch. He'll get put on the next day. You can view your schedule. We'll have weather delays. If a truck breaks down, we'll have an update on that. And then a cool new feature we have coming this year is called Track My Truck, which is basically, once you're on the app, you can see where the truck is within the town. So if you're worried about you know, the guy comes at 9, he's not here, and it's 10 o'clock, you can kind of see where he is. He's 10 stops away, he's 20 stops away, what have you. So that's coming at the end of this year too, but it'll be on the app on the Republic Services app. So look for that if you guys sign up for that app too.
So if you don't use the app, how can you get information?
You can
Or
still
you can
call
call
the customer.
DPW or-
There's a customer service number.
Yeah.
And you'll have a flyer that will have a number that you can call if you don't want to go onto
Okay,
the
so
website.
we don't call DPW to say it was trash and get picked up today?
No, you would still call the DPW. This is more so like if your trash normally gets picked up at like 2 o'clock and, you know, an hour has passed and you're wondering if it's delayed for some reason, you can look here.
Right. We get a lot of worry calls,
Yeah.
and they're just like, the guy, you know, slowed today, you know, so if you're worried about it, you can check on that. But again, you know, you can call DPW, you can call us.
You
It's,
still call them for bulk items.
Right.
So your bulk item pickups and your special pickups and things like that, you still would
And
go
if it is missed, still call the DPW.
Yeah.
number. Yeah.
The trash.
Yes.
yeah. Another thing too, it'll be great, is that it's all tracked on GPS too, so if someone puts it out late, you know, we can know that as well too, so. So I think that's it for me, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Erica and go from there. I'm sure Erica will answer all your questions as well too.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about the carts, the changes, and just the changes to the collection program. So we are going to start delivering carts on September 5th, so the Tuesday after Labor Day, next week. Company called Rig, they're the manufacturers of the carts. They're going to be the ones actually delivering them. It's going to take around 3 to 4 weeks for them to actually distribute to every household in Danvers. So if your neighbor gets one and you don't get one, don't worry. You're most likely just going to get it the following morning as they continue with their distribution. So it is going to take a little while for everyone to get the carts. Every household will receive 1 trash and 1 recycling. So if you live in a multifamily, you'll be getting 1 cart per unit. So if you live in a 3-family, you'll be getting 3 trash and 3 recycling. So, yep,
How do you determine that the house is a 2 or a 3-family?
that's through the assessor's list. So the assessor's office provided us with a list. If there's, you know, misinformation, we are happy to work with residents on that, but that is the most up-to-date list that we provided to the distributor.
So do ELAs still count as single family, or does that now count as a multifamily?
So ELAs, you're going to get 1 and 1, but if you give us a call after the initial distribution, you can get a second one because we understand it. You do have multiple units, but in the list, you're a single family. Yeah. Oh, and that's, yeah, legal ELAs. So we just have to make sure that you're on that list. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I think I heard you say something about serial numbers. Will our name be on this?
So not your name, but the serial number and the tag that's going to be embedded in the carts are going to be associated with your address. Yeah. So we'll have a list, and if you call and say, you know, my neighbor has this number, I have this number, we're just trying to figure out whose is whose, we'll be able to tell you this is, you know, this number is yours, this number is your neighbor's. So we're working with a few different partners for this whole rollout. So we're working with Rig. They are the manufacturers. They'll also be the ones distributing the carts. Obviously, we've been working with Republic Services, who is our hauler. We've also been working with the Recycling Partnership. So the town did receive a grant from the Recycling Partnership to offset some of the cost of the recycling carts. So they have been a great supporter in helping us get out some education about the new program. So when you get the carts, everyone is going to receive a packet of information tied on to one of their carts. So I'm just going to go through what information the packet includes. So the first thing you're going to get, I should have taken this out beforehand. Hold on. The first thing you're going to get is a welcome letter and an FAQ page. So the FAQ page is really great. We base this off of some common questions that we have been receiving, and then also what questions other communities have received when they rolled out these programs. So if you have a question, look at this first before calling or going on the website, because it's probably on here. But if it's not on here, please feel free to give us a call. We're always here to answer any questions that you have. The next one, so you're going to get a card on recycling right, what to put in your cart, what not to put in your cart. So you'll receive this, and then on the back side of it just shows how to place the cart at the curb. Like Caitlin mentioned, the 3 feet distance, to put the arrows facing the street. So this is just good information to make sure that the truck can actually pick up your cart.
Can I ask you on this, are there gonna be different trucks from week you have trash and recycle? Does that one truck take trash and that same truck take the recycle?
So you'll have, yeah, 2 different trucks. Yes, yep. But they'll both,
It could be one comes an hour later or?
Correct.
oh, yeah,
Yes.
Okay, so sort of what happens now.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly, just like now.
yeah. The next thing you'll receive is an updated trash and recycling guide. So this has, obviously information on trash and recycling, but it also has information on yard waste collection, transfer station information, textiles, mattresses, household hazardous waste. So there's a lot of good information on here, not just on what's picked up at the curb. And because we are moving to every other week recycling collection, you do have to figure out what week you're going to be collected on. So you're going to receive a list of blue and so streets on the blue week and streets on the green week. All you have to do, look for your street. This is in alphabetical order, so it's pretty easy to find. And then that will determine what week your street is on for collection. Then you're going to get an updated trash and recycling calendar. So this calendar has the blue and green weeks listed on it, so that way you know which week to put out your recycling. This also has information on holiday delays, special events, yard waste collection weeks. So this is for the remainder of 2023 and 2024, but you'll be getting an updated 2024 in the mail in your electric bill in January as well. So if you lose this one, that's okay. You're going to get an updated one again in your electric bill. And then on the back side is just an updated bulky item flyer. So if you have to get rid of bulky items at the curb, this has all of that information. And then not included on the slides, but is included in your packet. We had touched on textiles, how they're banned from the trash stream. The town has partnered with a company called Simple Recycling. They do curbside collection for your textiles. So you don't have to go to one of the bins, place your items in the bin. You can go on their website, give them a call. You can schedule a collection date with them. They'll come directly to your address and pick up anything you have on the curb for textiles. No, so they used to require pink bags. You don't need to anymore. As long as it says Simple Recycling, textile, something like that, they'll know it's for them.
Where do we get the bags?
Oh, so you don't need the bags anymore. So if you just put it in like a normal trash bag or a cardboard box, just label it Simple Recycling or just label it textiles, they'll know to grab it.
They don't charge you to pick it up.
No, oh yeah, so I should mention this is completely free at no charge. They'll come and get it for you.
I have a question. What about all the Amazon cardboard boxes that don't fit into those bins? What is that?
So we are going to have a cardboard drop-off. We're discussing right now where that's going to be located. We think it's going to be at Porter Street by Plains Park. So there will be a dumpster solely for cardboard if you have an excess.
There's only gonna be a slot to fit it in.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, this is one of the things we gotta break.
Yeah, have to break it down.
You'll probably find that
There's a lot of cardboard.
I was just
Mhm.
big enough.
Amazon queen.
Yeah.
If you break down your cardboard, you'll typically be able to fit that all in your.
Yeah, we put out 50 gallons every week on recycling.
Mhm.
You're not gonna be doing it every other week,
Yep.
so.
Yep. So this is 95 gallons. So if you're putting out 50 gallons,
Every week.
yep, so that should be, yeah, so it should be pretty equivalent. But if you do like around Christmas time, like we expect people to have, excess cardboard just from gifts and whatnot, that's what the overflow cardboard collection will, or drop off, I should say, will be for.
So what if the lid doesn't close? Is that gonna be a problem for the drivers?
That's more of a Tyler question.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, the only issue with that, if it's open like that, you're susceptible to it blowing over, 'cause it's a sale now.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're gonna call, oh, we left my trash in a mess, and, well, did you close the lid, you know?
If you
so-
crunch your water bottles and crunch your cans down.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we'll go over that a little bit more. Yeah. But on these informational material, a lot of them will have the website link. So all of this will be on the town website. So if you go to danversma.gov, right on the homepage, if you click I want to, you can go ahead. It'll bring you to a drop-down menu. Trash and recycling is listed right there. So if you click on trash and recycling, it'll bring you directly to the trash and recycling page on the DPW page. All of this information can be found there. All the trash recycling guidelines will all be on the website.
Who takes away the old trash barrels?
So it's going to be one of our questions. Don't worry, we're going to get to it. So Tyler already touched on this, why we're switching to these new carts. The town is moving to automated collection. So in order to do that, we had to switch to these new carts.
What happens to all the jobs these people have on the back of these trucks?
Tyler, would you like to answer that one?
Are you the only one that needs a job? Because we'll take them. We can't find people to do that anymore.
Really?
Really?
And if you know anyone that needs a job, we are hiring.
Well, I know
constantly.
3 people that work for you.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the next one. So the other big change with the new carts is that everything's going to be single stream recycling now. So you don't have to separate your plastics and metals from your paper. All of this material can now just go in one bin. So you don't have to worry about separating it all. So every other recycling collection starts October 1st or October 2nd, the first week of October. By this point, everybody will have their carts. So that's when every other week recycling will start. Yes?
What's the rationale for every other week?
I believe it was a
It's quite a bit of savings.
yeah.
The town gets a savings.
Very much so. Which is,
Those of us,
it's, the contract came down over a 5-year period by $1 million.
okay, one other quick question. I run nonprofit,
Mhm.
but I work it out of my home. Every week we have tons of traffic and donations coming in from everywhere. From what I think I understand, it's my responsibility to bring all the cardboard down to the drop-off. And no thicker than that. And I'd probably be there for 10 hours. That's my responsibility.
So we are going to talk about
Together and
So we are going to talk about the option for additional carts. We will be talking about that. There is going to be a cost associated with additional carts, but we'll get more into that with the Q&A.
We still have
It
the
says
cardboard.
on the recycle.
Mhm.
okay? Right now, you have to put out the recycle bin, whether or not we have anything in it with your trash, right?
You don't have to.
Now,
No, so it's a
no, I'm just saying, that's what we
Yeah.
do now.
Oh, right.
yeah.
So I'm making that statement. Now, if I don't have much in that recycle bin,
Mm-hmm.
I can do it once a month. I don't have to put this barrel out to show I'm recycling. I know.
So
What's that?
yes, yep,
That's the other place.
yep. So one of the things we want to talk about with the recycling carts, obviously we have a lot of people recycling a lot, so we just want to think about maximizing your space with the carts. I know people have said I've already flattened my cans, flattened my bottles, cut down my cardboard boxes, but if you don't, that's just a great way to save space in your cart. I mean, if you look up here, you see the bottles that aren't crushed compared to the ones that are, or the cardboard box that's not broken down compared to the ones that are. It's just a big space saver to try and fit as much as you can into those carts. And the same thing goes for trash too. Taking your milk carton, cutting that down, or not cutting it down, but smushing it down, putting it in the cart, or even paper plates, folding it up instead of just putting it on top of the trash. There are just small ways that you can try to maximize the space. We actually have a video from another community. You want to just press, yeah. Oh, can you just bring it back to the beginning? So this video just shows how, this recycling cart was overflowing. But then at the end, they're able to compact everything, cut things down, and they actually end up having more space in their recycling cart at the end. So they are changes, there may be things that you do in your everyday life that we're just going to have to take, one extra step, but it does, save you in the long run with having to purchase additional carts. So that also brings me to thinking about reducing your waste. So making simple switches like using reusable items instead of always going for the water bottle. Can you purchase a reusable water bottle that you fill up every day? Or when you go to the grocery store, using reusable bags instead of plastic bags. So that's just one way that you can cut down on your waste, on your trash and your recycling. Also composting. I don't know if anyone composts at home. We sell compost bins at the DPW at a reduced price. So you could purchase a compost bin. I have a great tumbling one at home that's really easy to use. So all my food scraps go into that bin. There's also some curbside programs like Black Earth where they will actually come. They can come once a week. They can come once a month. It's really up to you, and they'll collect the compost waste from you. So that's a space saver in your trash. So now we're going to get into some common questions that we've been receiving. The first one is, will I be able to get an additional cart? The answer is yes, but we won't start taking requests for additional carts until November 1st. We really want people to try and utilize these carts as best they can for the first month. But if you try, it's really not working out, we are going to take requests for an additional cart. Right now, the select board is discussing what the cost of an additional cart is going to look like. So by November 1st, we will have that answer. You'll be able to determine, is it worth me purchasing another one or not? And then the other question we've been getting, what do I do with my old bin or barrel? So we are encouraging people to try and use them for other purposes. You can use them for yard waste collection. We do have yard waste stickers up here at the front if you'd like to grab some before you leave. Just throw that yard waste sticker on your barrel and they'll collect that with yard waste. But if you find you don't have the space to store any additional bins or you don't think you're going to use them for yard waste collection, we are going to have a drop-off event Saturday, September 23rd at the Danvers High School. Based off the need we find from this event, we may plan additional ones, but we really don't know what the need for the drop-off is going to look like quite yet. So it will be from 10 to 12, at the Danvers High School parking lot. Drive in, drop your bins, free to go, and we'll take care of the disposal of those barrels.
Or if you know somebody who yard waste.
Yeah, if you know someone who could use them, please feel free to give them to whoever you would like. The more we can reuse, the better. So we're always available to answer questions at the DPW. We also have an email, danversdpw at danversma.gov. And like I mentioned, a lot of the information's on the website. We also have social media pages on Facebook and Twitter at Danvers DPW. We're posting a lot of this information, a lot of updates. This is also a good tool. We'll post about trash delays, holiday delays, any weather delays. We'll post that on our social media pages as well. So that's another way to get information about collection.
How often do these break? No, I'm serious, because if it breaks, we have to replace.
No, yeah, that's a great question. So we have a 10-year warranty on these. If one breaks, you call, I think we're still determining if you call the DPW or we'll call Republic directly. We'll have the parts and pieces to either fix it. If it's not fixable, we'll replace it at no cost to the resident. No. Yeah, Republic will fix them. We'll have the parts and pieces for them to repair them. Again, if it's not repairable, if for some reason this gets run over for, I don't know, we'll replace it. Yep. Any other questions? Mm-hmm.
Are we allowed to put cardboard in the recycle bin?
Oh, yes.
Everything goes in.
Yeah, everything goes in. So, yeah, anything not in the bin won't be collected, so you really want to try and fit everything you can in there. Mm-hmm.
Two-family house, instead of rolling out, we're gonna give you one
Per unit, yep.
If you don't have that done correctly, who do you contact?
Call the DPW. We'll take care of it. Yeah, we'll work with the assessor's office and correct that.
So there won't be any extra bags or anything like that, you've got like 3 trash items, like 2 barrels in a bag if you have an overflow or something.
Yeah, so no overflow bags. Everything has to be in the cart, just like Tyler said with the automated collection. They won't be getting out to grab anything extra.
You probably won't have to because we just had a toilet replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the DPW and they said, just put it out with the trash, take it apart, so it's basically back or something. What happens in that scenario now?
So that's actually one of the exact items that we brought up a couple days ago, because right now you're right, that's not technically a bulky item. It's technically just part of your trash. So what I think will happen is with toilets and tires, you'll just call the DPW and like bulky items, we'll relay that to Republic. But it won't technically be under our bulky item program that you have to pay for. Yeah, so toilets right now, they aren't part of our bulky item program, but they're still collected with trash. So it's just that oddball item that if you call the DPW, we'll relay the message to Republic to collect it with bulky. Yeah.
The regular trash,
Mm-hmm.
we use trash can liners
Mm-hmm.
in our waste baskets.
Yeah.
Throw it into, so we just continue.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Trash bags and plastic bags can go in your trash. It's just the recycling that we don't want to see those tanglers in. Mm-hmm.
Any changes to the Danvers transfer station?
No changes. Nope. So that's a separate entity run by Covanta. So they set all the pricing and whatnot, but there won't be any changes to what you can drop off there.
Now, is it true, I read, you have to bring your own hard hat and vest up there?
Yes. So that.
Get a hard hat.
I think they should donate.
Well, they did. So they used to have ones that you could use before COVID, and then they just haven't let up from that rule since. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
That wasn't legal enough.
Oh,
Are you kidding?
Common freight, which is right at the,
right at the corner. Yep.
common freight has both the vests and hard hats.
All right, I get the best, I just don't know how to.
Do you have a question about Christmas trees? Yeah, we're still going to be doing our annual Christmas tree collection. I think it's the second weekend in January. It's on the collection calendar though, so.
But that'll stay even.
Yeah, it'll just be. Yeah, so just like yard waste will be a separate truck. Same thing with the Christmas tree collection. It'll just be a different truck. Mm-hmm.
I've got a question for the gentleman, Director of Operations. There's a rumor out there that they were going to put a surcharge on the quarterly water bills to help reimburse the town for the cost of the barrel.
I don't know that. That would be more of the guy, the money. The finance director, but
The select board, along with FinCom and school committee, are discussing a variety of things, but no decision's been made.
So it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get stuff that we don't want.
Well, I've got some questions. If that becomes the case, let's say there's a quarterly surcharge. That's going to cover the cost, what it cost the town of Danvers to buy the initial.
I think all of that's premature right now. The select board's having public meetings, so I'd invite you, the next one they have to show up. Yeah, it'll be a public hearing, that you can show up and ask any questions you may have at that time.
So how do you find out about the public hearings other than you have to see the bulletin board
So
here?
on the town
town's website, on the homepage, there's a meetings calendar, and all of the select board agendas are posted there. There's also a way, and I'm happy to show anybody who's here, you can sign up to receive automatic notifications for select board agendas, where they'll send you the meeting time and date and all the items that will be discussed at that meeting.
So I'm sorry, how do you sign up for that?
You sign up through the website. I'm happy to stick around for a few minutes and show anybody who's interested. We can keep the projector on and I can show you all how to sign up. And you can also sign up for updates from DPW, for trash and recycling. So, or anything you're interested in the town. I'll take this opportunity as a shameless plug and steal the spotlight for a moment. So you can pick what's important to you. So if select board agendas and trash and recycling is all you want to know about and you don't want to hear about recreation and the fire department, you can pick those two and you'll get emails right to your inbox of any updates you want.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Perfectly fine. You can put it together in there. You know, I do recommend putting them on together because when the truck, it will compact it, so it will separate in the end and it will go to the right places. So you can find it.
So it's encouraged to keep lids on, not
Yep.
Yes.
separate them. Okay.
Good question.
Caps on the plastic bottles,
Mhm.
put in together.
Yeah, screw it back on and then put it in. Yeah, yeah.
Not a question to you folks, but a question, when you return bottles to the store,
Yeah, the redemption centers.
find up the plastic bottle in the cap. How would they deal with two different plastics mixed together?
It's melting points, so typically like the clear part of the water bottle, yeah, it'll go to the bottom, and the cap part will float to the top, and you can kind of skim
It's
off
different
it.
densities, so they'll chip it all up, they put it into like a vat of water, and the different densities will float, so they're able to skim off the top and skim off the bottom. So originally, you couldn't keep them together.
That was
Now,
more a curiosity question on it.
Mr. Bradstreet, you hit your limit, Mr. Bradstreet. You hit your limit.
I didn't check for that question.
but if you'd like
Based
to
on
know
Stop
more
and
about
Shop,
it, you can
unbelievable.
certainly sign up for the tour. We can go through more recycling questions on what happens to your recycling afterwards and what happens to your specific recycling when it comes to the facility, and we talk about all that. You can hear me more, so if you like that, you're more than welcome to come and I will talk all about recycling.
Are there any other questions? Yep.
We live on a dead-end street, so the street isn't very wide.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have curbs in some places. Should the bins go on the street, or should they go in the driveway?
Street, please.
Street, okay.
If you can, yes, the
Yeah, if
street would
you
be the
can.
best. It's really where you normally put them, that's accessible
Well,
where
usually we put it,
parking.
well, we put it at the end of the driveway, like our car is on one side, and we put it on the end of the driveway. But if you want them in the street, then they would be over to the side, but there wouldn't necessarily be a curb behind
That's
it.
fine, yeah.
The curb doesn't matter, as
Yeah.
long as it's away from your car.
Okay.
That would be
Yeah.
perfect. We don't want that.
So put it in the street.
And it's gonna be a learning curve, like we said, you know, there's gonna be a unique situation for everyone's house. It could be like a hill like this, it's not gonna be flat, we don't have enough room, there's cars parked everywhere. We're gonna work with the town and we're gonna
Yeah.
figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah, so there will be an adjustment period as we all figure this out together. But as those issues arise, you know, please give us a call if there is an issue and we'll work through it.
So in the winter time, when we have snow this high, can we put the bins in our driveway, which might have been plowed out, versus the sidewalk? Yeah.
Yes.
That's okay.
No, we want it accessible, just like you normally do now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're
right
welcome.
now, every day, you know, in the wintertime, you have to put it clear and free for all of our guys to drag it. Same concept, so that we would love it if it was in the driveway. It's super easy. And safe for you guys. We don't want you trying to lift them and, right, you know, reasonable, as long as we can grab it.
Mm-hmm. Have a question?
Is there any change to the larger items, going down, like mattresses, paper, sticker, all that stays pretty much the same?
So that's going to be the same process. You go to the clerk's office, the business office, or online, purchase the bulky item sticker, call the day before your collection. We'll get that list, send it to Republic, and you just put it out the day of your normal collection.
Question, on my street, even though it's a wide street, I don't know how big the trucks are, like the same size?
Yeah.
Okay, because people park on both sides of the street, that's how many cars per household
Mm-hmm.
we have. So I'm wondering, like, during the summer, spring, and fall, to the battles?
And we do it in other communities and, city communities. Watertown does it, and that's a dense
And they're
area.
two-sided street,
Oh, yeah.
parking two sides? Okay, because my street is, my end is capped with cars.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's a
But the
learning
other end
curve.
has no cars.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't fit any more in our driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, do you have any question on that? All set.
Okay. Yep. I should have mentioned that they are. So through the grant, we had a requirement that it had to be 5% post-consumer, but Rig is actually a higher percentage that they use. I don't know it off the top of my head, so I don't want to say the number, but I know it's more than 5%.
And I think, and I've been told by Rig too, that they use some like ocean plastics too in there
Mhm.
as well, so they have some, they scoop it from the ocean and use it.
Yeah.
This company is very sustainable,
Yeah.
And they're very sustainably conscious and are trying to, they come to all the conferences that I go to for recycling to learn as to what they should do better and what the, what's coming along the way and what, things like that. So they are very in tune with what we
Yeah.
like.
Do you have a question? Oh.
WBC cited Danvers yesterday as this new program with new folks on Route 1. I don't know if anyone heard it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There was I think WBZ also did a news article on Greenworks as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
You had a question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you have a question? Yep.
I have a question. In elderly housing, I guess that's who we're talking about.
Mhm.
We live in a 40, what is there, 5 buildings, but there's 40 units.
Mhm.
Do we each get a battle?
So do you live in a condo association?
No, I live at Danvers Housing.
Oh, so I believe you have a dumpster. Yeah, so with the housing, you're still going to use the dumpster. So these carts won't be distributed, but they're still going to be collected by Republic. They're still going to be servicing those dumpsters.
We will have Republic
Yes.
rather than the other one?
Yep, it's still going to be Republic.
And it's all gonna go into one just like what we've been doing?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so there won't be any changes with any carts, but yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Any question?
Yeah, it's recommended, but again, like, you're not doing a tape measure, like, you're gonna be fine with this,
First time
Just
you
so
see
that
the
the harm-
truck go by, you're gonna know how much skill they have.
Yeah. Question?
It's easier for them to judge.
My comment was that you should have had it filmed or a clip it showing how these are picked up, showing placement, how.
We were looking for one.
There's only quick clip-its of like how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll go to the yard and probably do a test and film it.
You're gonna get.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to share.
And
Oh,
You won't see the arms October.
I was just about to say,
Right, yeah.
just to precedent this, for right now, the brand new trucks aren't going to be on the road right on October 1st. You're not gonna see the automated arms. They are ordered, they're on their way. It just takes a long time to build an entire truck. You're going to still see the normal guys. They're gonna be grabbing it just like Tyler is. And they have, toter tippers that will hook onto this on the back of the truck and it will still be dumped the manual way right now. So you'll still see it the manual way until these trucks start rolling in. We didn't want you to be surprised when a new big truck started rolling in, grabbing things with its arms, and why are they doing that? So just we're jumping the gun just a little bit.
Yep. Any other questions?
There's 2 arrows right
Yeah, so on the front lip, you're going to see these arrows. Those are going to be facing away from your house towards the street.
So you roll it down to the street, drop it like that,
So here's the street.
and your house is behind.
Yeah.
Tyler's side.
The handle's towards your house.
Yeah, handles towards the house. Yep.
And to make things easier, you're trying to lift it. You can't put your foot on the bottom and just kind of
Just tilt it, yep.
And just it will go.
And you can go up and try them out too after.
Yeah, if you want to come up, try the carts.
Get to the curb and double that.
Now he's getting fancy.
Yeah.
It's an advanced move, so, but yeah.
But
I have one more.
yeah.
Go back to how you identify the barrel.
Yep.
In case somebody wants an extra barrel,
Mhm.
and I want to buy it, and I lose mine, how do you said
There's a serial number, and they're going to have what they're called RFID tags, which we can scan, and we'll know what property they belong to.
so like that number on the front, everyone will have a different number?
Yep, every number will be different. Yeah. Yep.
And if we find one that can't read that, we have the capability to scan it like a lost
Like the chip. Yeah, like a chip.
Erica, before we break, does anybody want to see how to sign up for notifications?
Yeah. We don't want to take it, you take it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope it works.
So that's actually going to be on the FAQ page, but if it's stolen, give us a call, but you also should file a report with Danvers Police non-emergency line, just so that we have it in our, but you'll get a replacement. Oh, so you're gonna, I'll show you one second.
Do you mind navigating for me?
Oh, yeah,
I'll tell you where I want to go.
You've already had this. You already. Yeah.
Refresh
So you have no questions. No questions left.
All right, so we'll go really quickly. We also have, I'm happy to chat with anybody too. This is the town's website. It's fairly new. It launched a couple months ago. Mr. Bradstreet got a one-on-one demo from us on how to use the website. But you can subscribe to receive any type of notifications and updates. So if Erica, you could scroll down a little bit. When you go to our page, danversma.gov, in the middle are these bubbles. You click on the second one, which is Notify Me, so that you get automatic notifications. You scroll a little bit more. We have two different type of notification systems in Danvers. The top one is Blackboard Connect, which is something you're probably familiar with. You get phone calls at your home if there is a snowstorm, if there's a water ban, if there's a bad storm coming through, if there's a trash and recycling big extravaganza going on. So you get automatic phone calls to your house through Blackboard. Then there's Notify Me, which is the town website. So you go to the Notify Me button. And this is going to look a little choppy because we are all, Erica's a registered user, I'm a registered user. There'd be a place right here where it says Notify Me Sign In. Instead of that, it will have a place for you to put your name, your email, and your phone number so that you can create an account. So you're going to put your name, email, phone number, and then you start going down and you can click to subscribe to anything. At the top, if we go a little bit, right now we're in the Agenda Center. So this is how you would sign up to get a select board agenda. You would start in the Agenda Center, you'd find the select board. You can do either email or text message. If you do a text message, it just gives you a link to the website. If you do email, it will give you a link as well. You can also, there's a lot of boards and committees, folks. You can also have calendar updates, so anything we put on any of our calendars, you can get automatic notifications, so that's great for different events that the DPW is doing. And we also have updates and notifications for job postings, so if you know somebody who's interested in working for the town, they can get updates just for specific job categories. And then news flashes where we share really important news, and you again can do that by department. Anyone have any questions about that?
I'm glad I saw that, because I never would have figured it out on my own.
Yeah, we have some upcoming social media outreaches for signups, and we're going to put some stuff on the website too. But it is a tricky one if you don't know it's there. But it's a great benefit to have.
I have one question. I'm in charge of the Danvers Veterans Council, and I noticed that's up there. Just notify me if you have a question, if you have a comment, I might want to know about. I go online and check to see if anything.
So the Veterans Council's probably on there for the meeting agendas. And so that's when you all post your meeting agenda. In order for us to get it on the website, the committee has to have a category. So this allows anybody who's interested in your meetings to sign up to know when your meetings are. There's no action needed by the council. Thanks, Erica, for letting me steal.
May I ask Finance Director, sir?
Sure. Yeah.
So if anything comes to fruition on what I spoke about earlier, about the recovery cost of the barrels, it will go before the select. That's the agenda I want to know about.
There's going to be, I don't know if you've been following, but they put together a budget conference committee. It's made up of members of the select board, finance committee, and school committee, as well as the library board of trustees. So they've met a couple times already. There's going to be an upcoming meeting. I don't know the exact date of it. It's probably going to be sometime this fall. And that'll be a public meeting for public comment and questions as well.
So under what category will that show up that that meeting is to be held?
It would be under all of those, but I would sign up for the select board.
Selectmen? Well, that's, yes, right. Thank you.
So if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to stick around for a little bit. You can come up, try to maneuver the carts. We can talk about packet information, sign up for a tour. But if you don't have any other questions, you're free to go.
There are also 2 flyers over there, one for the winter placement, if you wanted to take that, and one for the Recycle Smart flyer, so if you wanted that website to be able to go ask for the recycle.
Thank you so much for coming.